Poacher attack through the eyes of a rhino calf. As the number of rhinos killed by poachers keeps rising, more traumatized orphan calves are in need of care. Kirsten Everett, a high school student, takes us on a touching journey as she looks at the horrors of a poacher attack through the eyes of a rhino calf. My mother and I were contentedly filling our hungry stomachs when we heard a strange noise. I carried on eating, but she smelt the air for unknown scents. I saw the terrified look in her eye before she managed to control it. The unnatural smell meant something. A few minutes later, we heard the whop, 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 whop of a metal monster flying closer towards us. Just when my mother focused on it, the men crept out of the bushes with a crunch of sticks. Something seemed to hit her, and she grunted in surprise. The birds abandoned their posts, heading away from the danger. I stood helpless as she tried to run, but ended up falling to the ground. The men surrounded her and tried to chase me away. I ran forward, scared enough not to care about the men, as they had done something to my mother. I needed her, and they must go away. Out of nowhere, one of the men spun on me and hit me hard with something sharp. Blood oozed from my wound as my mother answered my cry for help with a weak, beg, "Away, away." I backed away, nursing my wound. How could I get to her? She grunted again, so I didn't give up. I ran forward again, but this time the angry men were merciless. As quietly as possible, I took the cuts to my poor head, trying not to worry my mother even more. Confused, I backed away into the bushes, calling to her to get up. But the eerie silence dragged on, and she didn't move a muscle. Fear glued me to the floor as I felt my young heart pulsing with anger and fear. A breeze blew as I waited for the monsters to go, so I could go to my poor mommy and find out what was wrong. My heart skipped a beat when I realized this was what my cousin had gone through only a full moon ago. It was terrible. My body couldn't stop shaking and I couldn't think clearly. I felt lightheaded from all my blood loss. Finally, when the monsters left, I ran to her side. "Mom, wake up!" My voice cracked with emotion, but still she didn't respond. I took a step back and saw the pool of blood. Her horn had been brutally cut off and she lay lifeless. Above me, a crow flew over. I turned to run. Then I asked myself some important questions. Where would I go? I wasn't old enough to know the way to the dam yet. Who were to protect me from predators? The truth was that I wasn't strong enough to survive by myself yet. Would I be with my mother in the sky sooner than I thought? The last question scared me the most. Out in the wild without my mother, I might just be able to survive a week. I heard the snap of a twig. I wasn't alone. This time I didn't have the strength to care what these humans wanted with me. I collapsed and slept for a few hours. I was almost completely unconscious, though I sensed kindness near me. Too traumatized to do anything, I lay as they treated my wounds. The people who tried to comfort me planted a seed of hope. Hope that I could survive, and hope that the rest of the human race would come to its senses.
Come on.
And help my species.
Come on.
And all the others out there.
Come on. Come on.
We are most grateful to people like Karen Trendler, who work so hard to keep these young rhino alive and to give them a second chance.
Stick of that hair down.
I love his mouth. Moving so messy today. Slow down. Yeah.